I'm stopped on a weekend ride and thought this would be a good time to show you what my dashboard's going to look like this summer riding across America, because it's going to be what I see for days and days and weeks on end. Give you a little tour of the dashboard from left to right. Here's my dashboard from my perspective. Got a beautiful view with a saguaro right in front of me. A nice overcast day in Tucson. Starting with my left, I have a handlebar mirror here, and that's pretty nice, just difficult to adjust. You have to get out the Allen wrenches if you want to adjust it. But I have it going just over my left shoulder. You can see there from my perspective, and it gives me a good view down the road. And moving left, I have these grips that I bought off Amazon, and I think they'd make more sense for an upright bike where you're putting your weight on it, but there's still some comfort with these little wings that stick out. Remind me of some grips I had on a Harley Davidson motorcycle called Kuryakin ISO grips, and that made it a little more comfortable to rest my hand on it. Speaking of hands, I do have full finger gloves, but these fingerless gloves, which I know have some rips in them, these are sheepskin leather, and I like riding in these because I try to keep sun off me, and that helps, and leaves my fingers free for accessing the electronics here. Next is this Rock Brothers bell. It's advertised as 90 decibels, and yeah, that really gets people's attention when I'm on a trail, and some pedestrians, they hear that and they step over to the side. That's real nice. Next, my shifters. Yeah, so that was something that was not stock. These came stock with grip shifters. This is a 2009 Rans Stratus 700, and they came with grip shifts. And I figured, grip shifts are fine for, training rides, but 2 months of riding across America, I wanted trigger shifters because it makes it easier to access the brake at the same time as the shifters. And so I upgraded those. These are SRAM 3x9 trigger shifters. I like everything about them, but I wish they had a display on them so I knew which gear I was in. And I like that I don't need to use my index finger to pull back on anything. It's thumb for both of these. So, and one unique thing is that to upshift on the front chainring here, it's this guy, and to downshift is this. It's the opposite on the other side. Then I got my water bottles. I went with Camelback Podium Ice. I saw a YouTube video that showed the same temperature water being put into normal Camelback Podiums, and then there's something in the middle, and then the Podium Ice are the higher tier ones, and the Podium Ice kept water cooler longer. And so I went with a pair of these, and it's nice because they lock here, so I don't get any water squirting on me if I put this in the locked position. But right now it's open, and I can access either of these while I'm riding, and a little bit of a adjustment to get them in here. I have to go in at an angle because of where these shifters are, but it's easy to access. Next is my GPS. I went with an IGP Sport BSC 300 model, and I got it for pretty cheap. And this is the default screen that I've set up for what I ride. I have my speed on the top left, my average speed. It's a slow speed for the ride because I've been climbing since I left on this one. The grade I'm currently at, my heading, really helpful stuff. I've ascended 462 feet and descended 104. And this ride, I'm 4.98 miles in, and that's 29 minutes and 48 seconds of moving time. That doesn't go when I'm standing still like now. And there's multiple pages of this GPS that I can access, and so I'll show you, like, this is the map screen. Right now I'm not navigating, but if I were, that would be showing just my speed and heading, and then my next turn. So I've been really happy with this. And then one other thing to show you, let me go back to my big data screen here. This is connected to a radar that is over my shoulder to the left, and that radar is detecting cars that are approaching from behind. If they're traveling the same speed at me, it doesn't register, but if they're traveling faster, which a car would be, I get a little flashing dot on the left that moves up and shows me how far away it is, and a beep on the screen, so I don't have to be looking over at my mirror so frequently. So I like that. Next is this Tribit Stormbox 2 Micro speaker. and I read some reviews, and this was a little better than a JBL clip with respect to the wattage it can output. And I originally had this mounted down here on that cross beam of the handlebars, but moved it up because closer to my ears I can hear it a little better with a little more bass. And then behind here we have the tent, and that's where I plan on keeping the tent. Another option for it is on the rear rack, but on the rear rack right now I have a trunk bag that I'm really happy with. And there's this mounting system here with these straps. This actually came with a 6-liter bag, a waterproof bag. I'm not sure if I'm going to use it on the ride or not, but this really holds my tent nicely. And I've been on some bumpy roads and it doesn't slide left to right, so I'm happy with that. Down here in the middle is my Psycho-Lite Metro 400 front light. Right now it's set to flashing. And the only downside of this thing is it has a very old mini USB, not even micro USB, mini USB charging port. So that's a cable I have to bring for just this light. But it wasn't worth it to me to buy another light just to have a, USB-C or something. Down here, we have these red pedals. I heard those weren't stock, but the person that I bought the bike from put on these red pedals. I think kind of looks nice with the red bike. And then something that's right down there between my legs, this piece of plastic right here, that's a vibration alarm. And how that works is there is a handheld remote control. It looks like a fob for a bicycle. And you can arm or disarm that. And it's 113 decibels. And if this bicycle shakes, then it's going to sound that alarm. So I figured a little lightweight protection piece for if I'm parking it in front of a restaurant or a grocery store and need to do some shopping. Then moving on to the right, we have my cell phone mount, which I'm holding my mobile phone right now, so you don't see it in the mount. And that's great. I originally had that on this cross beam, kind of where the Bluetooth speaker is, but I moved it up here to put the speaker in the middle, and then this gives me really, really close access with my thumb, whereas down here it was a bit more of a stretch to access. So I really like it up here, even though it's not in the center of my field of vision. So I think I covered everything. That is my cockpit.